Hi, everyone. It's live with Main Street. This is Jim Wick and
And Mr. Gunina. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jim. How's it
hi,
going?
Anna.
Where are you at, Jim?
Well, I'm traveling and I'm in Italy right now, working remotely for a couple of months.
Sounds very cool. And so, our topic for discussion today is travel. What a coincidence, Jim. We're recording this episode when you're traveling. So,
Exactly. And traveling and how it affects our finances, right?
exactly. Well, we always have to talk about finances, regardless, any topic. Well, so Jim, since you are such a experienced traveler, why don't you share with our listeners of a couple of tips that you've found, yourself from your experience or being around other people as far as saving money.
Well, Anna, I recently published a blog, which people can find on our website or look through their emails. And it was my 18 top travel tips. And I thought today I would just talk about four of them. The
All right.
first one is after you've been someplace once, call the property directly and see if you can pay a lower price because they don't have to pay a commission. Many times I use booking.com or Expedia or hotels.com, and I don't mind using that the first time. But I think I can save some money by going directly to them, and I have in the past. Secondly, ask them if you can pay cash. Is there a discount for cash? Now, there's some ethical questions here. You don't want to help people avoid taxes, but some people will give you a discount for paying for cash because they don't have to process the credit card through a merchant system. So be sure to ask if there's a discount for cash. Thirdly, try to just eat 2 meals a day. Many places we stay in Europe, you have a continental breakfast that goes with your lodging, and you can't take food out from there. Sometimes they'll give it to you. That happened to us recently, that they gave us a to-go package. But if you can manage to only eat 2 meals a day where you're spending money, then you're going to save some money. So that's a third one. The fourth one is look at the cost of travel insurance. Every time we sign up for airplane travel or trips, there's usually an offer for insurance, but that may not be the best deal. This past year, my travel agent, in booking a river cruise in Europe, suggested a different insurance company than from the boat company. And that saved us some money. But I was also reading thepointsguy.com where he credit and in the last 95 every year after that, but you get up to $50,000 insurance if you use specific credit card to book your travel. I've already got insurance, but for next year is my Chase Sapphire Preferred. And please go to apply.com and he will get it and some money too. Those are my four tips.
All right, Jim, and we're looking forward to reading your blog with lots more. I know that you've got a lot more. So my next question that one of our clients had is, when does it make sense to buy travel insurance? I personally never have purchased travel insurance. I do get asked about that a lot. As you know, we travel quite a bit for work, and every time you buy an airplane ticket, you get that option. But I always sort of thought, what are the chances of me really needing that travel insurance on the airline tickets? So since you are experienced enough, when do you think it's better to buy it?
Well, Anna, the $300 or $400 one-way trip that we're booking frequently, those are discount fares, and we pay $200 for a change fee. But you have to weigh the premium cost versus the frequency of when you might cancel that trip for any approved not just because you changed your mind, any approved reason, sickness, death in the family, that kind of thing. And so for most of us at our business level, we say, gee, it's probably not worth it. And if you fly 10 times and don't get the insurance, and one time you need it, you probably have saved money. So it's a frequency of the risk that you have to calculate. Now on the boat trip, it was a $6,300 boat trip. And if I had to cancel it within the last couple of months, I lost most of my money. So I was willing to pay a little over $500 for insurance. So in my mind, the boat trip was really a $6,800 boat trip, not a $6,300 boat trip. So that's where you kind of look at the risk and are you willing to flush down $6,300? No, I'd rather spend another $500 and do it. Next year, I'll have a credit card that only costs me $95 for the same kind of protection. Now, when I made my mileage payment with miles for my trip to Italy and back from Italy, I bought insurance on the trip back because once I'm over here, and if I have to go back for any reason that's covered, it could cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. It was worth buying a couple of $100 of insurance for those 2 tickets to come back because it might help me avoid spending $5,000 to $10,000. So that's kind of the dynamic of how you think about it. How much risk is there and what's the premium?
And so that makes perfect sense. The only clarification I think is worth talking about is when do you buy? Like, so let's say you didn't get this insurance, an example you were giving with the boat trip. Let's say because my only experience has been you get that offer right at the time when you're booking something or purchasing. Are you able to buy it later if you've all of a sudden decided, hey, it's worth the investment?
Well, it was in the boat trip because I didn't buy it when I purchased the boat cruise, but I did go back in fairly quickly within a few days and buy it. So it's really the insurance companies don't want to be defrauded, so you have to buy it well in advance. You can buy it separately well in advance, and I'm sure every insurance company, and there are multiple ones, have different rules, but buying it far enough in advance where they don't think they're being gamed is probably the appropriate way.
Right, I agree. I think it has to be fairly soon after you've booked your travel, just to make sure that it actually is legitimate. Well, good. Okay. Well, I'll definitely consider that. I'm not sure for the flights, but like you said, for larger trips where there's a lot of money at stake, we need to see if we can offlay that risk. So let's just hope you never have to use that insurance, right? That's the reason you buy.
My 10 to 1 factor, the boat trip was $6,300. It was $500 and something. I do it 10 times. It made sense from that level of risk and that percentage of the cost of the trip.
I think insurance companies do the same kind of pricing. If you ever look at how they price it's like, oh, it's $20 or $25 for a $300 ticket. Oh, that's about right.
But they know how often, they have all the data on their side.
Oh, they do.
We're sort of doing it seat of the pants. They've got thousands of transactions worth of data. They know exactly, they can estimate how many claims they're going to get.
Oh, yes, that's for sure. Well, good. That makes sense, Jim. Anything else we got?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I have a question for you, and it concerns a client who wrote us to say, I want to go to a foreign destination for medical treatment. Can I write that off on my taxes? What did you say?
Yes, that's a good question. Well, the answer is that you can, but you have to make sure that these expenses that are relating to your treatment are qualified medical expenses. And with the new tax reform that we had, there's going to be some changes. But so for 2017, most of us finished filing our tax returns in 2017. So 2017, in 2018, the amount that you can deduct has to exceed your adjusted gross income by 7.5%. And that's going to change on January 1, 2019. It's going to be 10% going forward. So even more, basically you have to spend more to be able to deduct above that, right? So that's number one. Now, number two, you really have to, I think just like with anything relating to taxes, right? You have to have really good records of everything and where you spent your monies, right? So, because aside from the actual cost of the procedures that you're getting done abroad, right, there will be other expenses associated with it. There would be airplane, there would be meals and things like that. So you can't just say, hey, I'm going to go to Mexico, get a procedure done, and then I'm going to stay at the beach for a week. Well, technically, you know, that week at the beach isn't going to be deductible because you have to, it probably could, but you have to really show how it's related to you getting that medical procedure and whatever it is, whatever treatment that you're getting. So, and there are limitations on that. So it's probably going to be more of a prorated kind of a travel and hotel and things like that. I would also highly advocate for having a tax preparer or a CPA for those kinds of things. And this particular kind of, you know, expense and instance probably will trigger a red flag for on your return for saying, hey, let's look into, for the IRS to say, right, hey, let's look at this and see if this is a really truly qualified medical expense and legitimate write-offs. So you've got to be extremely careful. But
will my potential facelift, you know, I don't like this here, is that deductible if I go to a foreign country?
It is. According to the IRS publication 502, if it's a qualified medical expense and it's relating for you improving your health, right? Then, and if your doctor recommended for you to do that, which most doctors will not, then the answer is no, Jim. It will not be a medical write-off. So you better stay in Italy and and enjoy some pasta. And hey, I have a question for you. How about so you don't get to write off your facelift, but how about a beard that you seem to be growing while you're traveling and living in Italy this summer?
Well, I'm saving on razor blades because it's very expensive to travel in Italy. So, you know, those razor blades that cost $5, and you use one every week or so. I'm saving on that. So let's see, 12 weeks times 5. I'm saving $60, you know, so that's like almost half a dinner out.
Yeah, well, I know. How can you forgo dinners out in Italy? You can.
Okay, well, our time is about up, Anna.
It is. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Let us know what other travel-related questions you have, and we have a couple of pieces of content coming out later this month as well. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining us. Bye, Jim.
Okay, bye, everybody. Bye, Anna.
Bye, everybody.